Biafra, we have emerged triumphant from all our foes. Through the crucible unscathed, we passed victorious. Our trumpets pealing the glorious song. Play it, sing it, all hail Biafra. Oh, hail Biafra, we shall always remember all that perished in the struggle for our freedom. All hail our heroes, our prayer shall be known both day and night. Say them always, all hail Biafra. All hail Biafra. Now our star shines everywhere. We crave humility. God guide and protect us all. All hail your wisdom, shielding us from fury, unleashed by our enlightenment. Biafra, shining forever.
In the heart of Biafra's land, where courage blooms, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stands, defying darkened tombs. A beacon of hope, a voice soon yielding. He fights for justice, freedom, heart's true healing. Mazi Asumwe Kwensu, your spirit ablaze, guiding your people through the tumultuous mazes. From prison walls you sing defiance and truth, a symphony of liberation, unwavering in you. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by wind so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. Chains may bind, but not the soul. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, your purpose takes its toll. The world may turn away, blind to your plight, yet your flame burns brighter, igniting the fight. Behind prison bars you weave tales of courage, a tapestry of resistance woven without rage. Your words pierce the silence like sunbeams through rain, calling for freedom's dawn, breaking every chain. Freedom, freedom, let it echo across the hills, where rivers flow and dreams ascend, where hope fulfills. Biafra's anthem rises, carried by winds so strong, a melody of resilience, a battle cry, a lifelong song. song is a creative expression and tribute Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's situation is complex and the song does not capture all aspects. Let us continue to hope for justice and peace. Dun dun.
Jeremba gala lota, mapa lota, aga napo hara n'ọnụ. Ọnwa anwa lota, ike gene, ụjọ na-atụzi n'obodo. Ụjọ na-atụzi n'obodo. Ịma na ụjọ na-atụzi n'obodo. Ịma na ụjọ na-atụzi n'obodo. Obodo adịghị mma. Ụjọ na
Obodo dala da da go, Hello, my wonderful people of Biafra, friends of Biafra and lovers of freedom. This is Mazi Kwensu. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on your time zone. We are live at our various platforms. We are live on Facebook. Ikechukwu Umadi Ezumezu on Facebook. Ikechukwu Ezumezu on Facebook. Mazi Ezumezu Kwensu on Facebook. We're also live on X handle. Chukwud Benjamin Ezumezu. We're also live on YouTube. Ikechukwu Ezumezu. We're also live on TikTok with another phone. Ikechukwu Ezumezu, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu on TikTok or Ikechukwu Ezumezu on TikTok. On this platform, we are live right now. And I said, please share this video. Invite your loved ones. Let them know that Mazi Ezumezu is live. Let them know that Nwoko Timbodombo is live. Let them know that Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu no live. Okay, Zuku. We have a very little platform, but it's mighty. I am a very little platform, but it's mighty. So as I welcome you, it's very important you welcome others. So on this different platform, we are live right now. So I can do that, can you move can friends of Biafra? As Mudo Dulunu. Mazi Godwin I can go. They will watch in. So as we welcome you, please endeavor to welcome others. It's very important. We are on TikTok live with another phone. You know, TikTok, their community standard is something X. So we have another phone for TikTok. But if they still go on to block us, we must preach the gospel. We must preach the gospel. So as I welcome you once more, please endeavor to welcome others. It's very, very important. Very, very important. But before we continue on the message we have today, please, Biafrans and friends of Biafrans, today is another fundraising. So for those of you who have not pledged or who have not donate, it's very important you go and donate. It's very, very important. You go. Let me bring the flyer out. Did I have the flyer? Let me check. Hold on. Let me see if we have the flyer here. But let's listen to the instruction for our leader from the fundraising. Let's listen. It's very important.
I want to get made a fundraiser. Okay. Gonna get married here. Kenyan the uncle, my David, and the Rising Sun, my ambassadors, all over the world. I gave the order.
Hold there. Our leader Mazi Nnamdi said he gave the order for this fundraising. So it's very, very important that we all support this fundraising. If you have not done your part, please log in there. Let me bring the flyer out. It's really important. Let me bring the flyer. I'm sorry for TikTok. What I'm showing on the video on the laptop, you guys will not be seeing it because of TikTok. Too much water for TikTok. But we move. So this is the flyer. This is the flyer. With your phone, you can scan the code. You can see this code, the link. The moment you scan it, it will take you direct to the Zoom meeting. So go there and pledge your donation and do your own part. And they have different ways for you to pay your money. Different ways. I think I have to post it on my profiles. You know? And it's open. It's GoFundMe is open. So Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi can authorize that. So it's very important that we must obey the instruction of our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I want you guys to listen again.
Yes, making sure. Give me for almost get made a fundraiser. Okay. Gonna give me idea. Kenyan the uncle, Mandia Vid, and the rising sun, and the ambassadors. On your lap, all over the world. I gave the order.
Who know there? Our leader Mazi say he gave the order that we must support the fundraising from Avid, Rising Sun, and Brother for Self Determination, Ambassador for Self Determination. Now he will not say that he did not know, or our leader Mazi Nnamdi did not give instruction about the fundraising. So please endeavor to go there, scan it. It will take you straight to the Zoom meeting and donate. Ịma nke aka lugu, do it. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. It's very important that we all obey our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Ndewo, 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 ndewo. So, like the flyer said, if you look at my backside, the background, it said IPOB leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu challenge Nigeria government on which law they are persecuting him for. This is what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is challenging Nigeria government. On which law? On which law they are persecuting him for? On which law? Tell us. On which law? On which law? As you all know, Nigeria is finished. Nigeria is gone. You will understand that Nigeria is gone. Yesterday, we saw the news all the way from America, breaking news from America. President Trump blacklisting Nigeria as a country. CPC. Country, I think country particular of concern. Let me get it right. Let's go to the Facebook. So Nigeria is gone. Remember what I told President Tinubu? If you don't open that door for our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, somebody else will do it. If you don't open that door for Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, somebody else will do it. Somebody else will do it. And at the same time, we must also appreciate Biafrans that's living in America. That make sure that this thing come to pass. That also engage the US government, telling them they need to act, telling them that they need to act. So let's see, let's go. You guys know Mazi Zumezu. Anything I said, I like to bring evidence because I always told you guys my program today is not for you guys, it's for the future. is for our generation to come, our unborn kids. Then when they grow up, I say, go to Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu. Anything you see there, take it to bank. That is why anything we say, we will always make sure that we present the evidence. That's very important. Very, very important. So this is it. Mm. So this was tweet from President Trump. Let's This was a tweet from President Trump. He said Christianity is facing essential threat in Nigeria. Thousands of Christians are being by radical, radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter. I have I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. This is from President Trump, United States of America. So Nigeria today is a country of particular of concern. And he said it did not, it won't stop here. That's what he said. So let's also bring our brothers all the way from America. Before I say what I want to say about it. Mm.
Thank you, President Trump. Yeah, I did it.
TikTok. I'm sorry
you.
you guys are not seeing the video
Yes.
because TikTok have a lot of
Yes.
things,
Make it happen.
you know.
The best
But
president
you
in
can
the whole
only
wide
listen
world.
to
Yes.
me
God bless you,
or
Trump.
say
God bless you, Trump.
Good.
More to come. More to come. Yes.
So someone want to join me on TikTok. I think it's not time to join, but let me see with it's not time to join because I've not said anything.
2, 3. Thank you, President Trump. Yeah, you did it.
Putting
We love you.
control of CPC.
Yes. Yes.
Make it happen. The best president in the whole wide world.
Yes.
God bless you,
God
Trump.
bless you, Trump.
Good. More to come. More to come.
Yes.
So you can see, these are our brothers, both avid, rising sun, and self, self, ambassador for self determination. They are all there, no, appreciating what Trump has done. Let's play it again.
Thank you, President Trump. Yeah, you did it.
Putting
We love you.
control of CPC.
Yes. Yes.
Make it happen. The best president in the whole wide world.
Yes.
God bless you,
God
Trump.
bless you, Trump.
Good. More to come. More to come.
Yes.
So these are our brothers in America appreciating President Trump for well done job. So they are so happy, and everybody is happy about it. But the truth is that, like I said before, like I said before, not to put Nigeria in a blacklist and it ends there, because Nigeria was once in a blacklist. I think Trump did it when he was elected for the first time, and when Joe Biden came in, he took Nigeria off. So who knows if the next government that will come after President Trump, what that president will do? Maybe it will took it off, or you continue from where Trump stopped. But like I said, blacklisting Nigeria, putting Nigeria in CPC is not the solution. This is my personal view. It's not the solution. The solution is that support Biafra referendum. The solution is that let Nigerians come on the round table to discuss if they want Nigeria to continue or not. The solution is that these oil companies, these foreign oil companies, stop them. You know that they are milking Nigeria. They are stealing from Nigeria. They are stealing from Africa. So it's not about putting Nigeria on blacklist. Okay, fine and good. It's okay. But it didn't end there. This is my personal opinion, like I said. Now, we talk about the Christian genocide. Of course, yes, it's real. But how about Igbo genocide? How about Mpo massacre? Mpo genocide by Nigeria government? How about Ed Bridge genocide massacred by Nigeria government? How about Aba High School massacred by Nigeria government? How about Emene Enugu? How many will I start calling? How about Obibo? How about Port Harcourt? Even when the first time President Trump was in power, Biafrans were by a lot of them are still in prison today. How about that? Well, as Snake in Edikin and Komeleme, Omekwa ọzọ. But Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu, CPC is not the solution. The solution is that support the referendum from Biafra. The solution is that support the freedom fighters, Mazi Nnamdi and Ipob, that calling for referendum. Calling for a referendum is not a war. It's not a war. It's not a war. So, in as much we are appreciating President Trump for what he have done, we will ask him to do more, because the only way I will say yes, because that's not nke na-akpọ onye ka ọ na-ekwu. Talk about our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Talk about him. He was in your campaign the last time. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was in your campaign the last time before he was kidnapped in Kenya. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu supported your party. He supported you. So why can't you mention his name? Why can't you tell Nigeria government? Now I'm addressing to President Trump. In fact, let me see if I can see his picture. It's very important I bring the pictures out. It's very important. Okay. I'm talking to President Trump now. So, Mr. President, you need to put pressure on Nigeria government to respect their law. You need to put pressure on Nigeria government to respect their courts. You need to put pressure on Nigeria government to obey the UN group. You need to tell Nigeria government to free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime. Because in Kenya, our leaders, they are important. Because all the evidence you guys use to put Nigeria on CPC was from IPOB, from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And Mazi Kanu will be fighting for the middle belt, telling the whole world that what is going on there is genocide, is religious tying. That's not about farmers and header clash. It was the position of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for years. And today, you can see even the president spokesperson is lamenting about that. It's lamenting about that. Let's bring Balewa, whatever his name is. Before we continue, we must welcome Mazi Chiezuoko. Mazi, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Mazi Chie. You're welcome. I want you guys to listen.
Behind that, the investigative report that came out, which Arise TV showed yesterday, was that from 2016, IPOB started pushing the narrative of religious persecution in Nigeria. And if you look at the two reports so far that have been the report people have been relying on, and the only report that talk about religion, because there is United States Institute of Peace assessment, there is Human Rights assessment, there is a Transparency International assessment, other local assessment, but those assessments focus on just insecurity, and they're able to put out data to support that there have been insecurity, but that there is a steady decline. But these two reports, one that is by Inter-Society, and the second one that is by, yesterday I talked about it, I remember it, it just escaped my mind. Those are the ones that are talking about Christian persecution. If you look at these two reports, they are very silent on IPOB. The interstate, the Inter-Society report was the one that Ted Cruz was relying on. If you look at the report in Inter-Society, they said, the report saying that the southeastern Nigeria, there was nothing like IPOB, but that all the killings were done by security agencies in Nigeria because the people of the Southeast and the IPOB have a Judaism or Jewish background. And that is exactly what the lawmakers in the United States are banking on. So they come in the name of religious persecution, but they have a sinister plan to destabilize the country and then to push the agenda for cessation of a certain people in the country. But we understood it very early. That's why the president tasked us to go all over the world and counter this disinformation. And we're doing that very effectively. Thankfully, people are beginning to see the truth, and people are beginning to come out to call out some of these things.
All right, Dr. Bola, and for the purpose of clarities, and let's bring it back home, because, this conversation was supposed to be basically about the U.S. description of what is happening in Nigeria. But bringing it back home, also because of those Nigerians you have termed innocent Nigerians, there are some Catholic bishops in Nigeria who have, repeatedly described the widespread violence against Christian communities by armed groups as genocide. For instance, Bishop Wilfred Anagwe of the Makurdi Diocese, for example, says in 2025, 17 parishes in his diocese were shut down due to persistent attacks. Kanu has gone as far as accusing the presidency of twisting fact and misrepresenting its position. I mean, you're here today speaking on behalf of the presidency. Are these also exaggerated?
But the thing is that the Catholic Church in Nigeria is very strong and widespread. And when it comes to interest group is that whenever something happens, you first hold your own. So, for example, if everybody is asked to cry out, Catholic would defend their own, Protestants would defend their own, Pentecostals would defend their own. The bottom line of the issue is the subject matter, which is Christian genocide. Yes. Is there indeed Christian genocide? Now, number one. And number two, if you say there was Christian genocide in the past, in 2014 and 2015, I will agree with you, because when Boko Haram started at the time, they were targeting churches, they were killing pastors. That was the specific thing they were doing. But since 2016, 17, 18, when they saw they could not put Nigeria into religious war. They changed.
Let's repeat it again. Going again.
Forces behind that. The investigative report that came out, which Arise TV showed yesterday, was that from 2016, IPOB started pushing the narrative of religious persecution in Nigeria. And if you look at the two reports so far that have been the report people have been relying on, and the only report that talk about religion, because there is United States Institute of Peace assessment, there is human rights assessment, there is a Transparency International assessment, other local assessment, but those assessments focus on just insecurity, and they're able to put out data to support that there have been insecurity, but that there is a steady decline. But these two reports, one that is by Inter-Society, and the second one that is by, yesterday I talked about it, I remember it just escaped my mind. Those are the ones that are talking about Christian persecution. If you look at these two reports, they are very silent on IPOB. The interstate, the Inter-Society report was the one that Ted Cruz was relying on. If you look at the report in Inter-Society, they said, the report saying that the southeastern Nigeria, there was nothing like IPOB, but that all the killings were done by security agencies in Nigeria because the people of the Southeast and the IPOB have a Judaism or Jewish background. And that is exactly what the lawmakers in the United States are banking on. So they come in the name of religious persecution, but they have a sinister plan to destabilize the country and then to push the agenda for cessation of a certain people in the country. But we understood it very early. That's why the president tasked us to go all over the world and counter this disinformation. And we're doing that very effectively. Thankfully, people are beginning to see the truth, and people are beginning to come out to call out some of these things.
All right, Dr. Bola, and for the purpose of clarities, and let's bring it back home, because, you know, this conversation was supposed to be basically about the U.S. description of what is happening in Nigeria. But bringing it back home, also because of those Nigerians you have termed innocent Nigerians, there are some Catholic bishops in Nigeria who have, repeatedly described the widespread violence against Christian communities by armed groups as genocide. For instance, Bishop Wilfred Anagwe of the Makurdi Diocese, for example, says in 2025, 17 parishes in his diocese were shut down due to persistent attacks. Kanu has gone as far as accusing the presidency of twisting facts and misrepresenting its position. I mean, you're here today speaking on behalf of the presidency. Are these also exaggerated?
But the thing is that the Catholic Church in Nigeria is very strong and widespread. And when it comes to interest group is that whenever something happens, you first hold your own. So, for example, if everybody is asked to cry out, Catholic would defend their own, Protestants would defend their own, Pentecostals would defend their own. The bottom line of the issue is the subject matter, which is Christian genocide. Yes. Is there indeed Christian genocide? Now, number one. And number two, if you say there was Christian genocide in the past, in 2014 and 2015, I will agree with you, because when Boko Haram started at the time, they were targeting churches, they were killing pastors. That was the specific thing they were doing. But since 2016, 17, 18, when they saw they could not put Nigeria into religious war, they changed.
So, Biafrans and friends of Biafrans, we want to destroy this man with the lost truth. With Ezoku Chineke. He claimed that IPOB are the one that pushed it in 2016, 15, 16, 17, whatever. Yes, we did it. Did you guys not buy us? How about the Amnesty report? Now, I want you to watch this. Aba High School Massacre. I want you guys to watch it. To watch this. TikTok, I'm sorry, you guys cannot see.
The Nigerian government has its own way of dealing with peaceful gatherings it doesn't like.
They started shooting us, killing our brothers. Over 10 of them were lying dead there.
The army is trained to kill and not to police processions or protests or demonstration. They are trained to eliminate whoever they see as the enemy.
See young men, young boys,
Voice.
18 years, 15 years,
Please, can you guys hear the
being
voice?
wasted like that.
Someone should
Just
write.
because
No,
of
let me
what
see
you
what
don't
is
know.
happening. This one, the video.
The day began with a gathering of people who want to create The Nigerian government has its own way of dealing with peaceful gatherings it doesn't like.
Okay.
They started shooting us, killing our brothers. Over 10 of them were lying dead there.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Okay,
army
Mazi,
is
thank
trained
you
to
so
kill
much.
and not to police processions or protests or demonstration. They are trained to eliminate whoever they see as the enemy.
See young men, young boys, 18 years, 15 years, being wasted like that.
TikTok, I'm sorry, I cannot show the videos on TikTok. I'm using another separate phone on TikTok. If you want to see the video that I'm showing, you can go on my YouTube, Ikechukwu Ezumezu. Ikechukwu Ezumezu on my YouTube. You can go there on my YouTube, Ikechukwu Ezumezu. Or you go on S Ando, Chukwudi Benjamin Ezumezu. You go there. Or you go on my Facebook, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu. Or you will see the video I'm playing, but I cannot play the video on TikTok because of the community. Their own wala is too much. They won't the TikTok. So let's continue.
Just because of what you don't know.
The day began with a gathering of people who want to create an independent country in the southeast of Nigeria, what was once known as Biafra. Pro-Biafra members and supporters had come to pray for the release from prison of one of their leaders.
We have seen an increased number of disgruntled young men and women in southeastern Nigeria joining processions, joining gatherings to demand for an independent Biafra state. Because the people in that part of the country have always feel marginalized, they've always feel segregated against, they've always feel left out in the share of the Nigerian national cake.
Back in 1967, people in the southeast of Nigeria declared themselves independent, creating a separate country called Biafra. A civil war ensued in which an estimated 2 million civilians died, mainly from famine, as a result of a blockade on food supplies imposed by the Nigerian government. Almost 50 years on, there is a resurgence in calls for Biafra to again become a separate state. About 200 pro-Biafra members and supporters gathered in a high school playing field. Many recorded what happened next.
We saw the army people marching into the premises. When they were marching in line like this, once you enter, as they entered there, all of them will just squat down, staying as if they are in the war front.
Without warning, without any signal, without any notification of what was going to happen, the military opened fire with live ammunition on these peaceful activists and supporters.
People dying, people falling on the ground, blood gushing out. The whole part of that field was filled with human beings' blood. And after a while, they start carrying dead bodies into their van. Where they took them to is what we don't know.
They came with an intent to shoot, to kill, and to injure. And that for us gives an indication of the brutal nature of the Nigerian security forces' response to pro-Biafra agitations.
But this was not the only occasion. Take this one, 3 months later, on the 30th of May 2016, when pro-Biafran members and supporters had gathered to remember those who had fallen during the Civil War. At least 60 people died that day.
We see more than 20 heroes of Nigerian Army joined force, Navy, police, and they began to shoot at us. We began to run. As we were running, they shot me on the palm leg here.
Even when the injured sought refuge in gutters along the road, the military would seek them out, executing some on the spot.
And when they were packing the bodies of the people that they shot, they now came inside the gutter and see that I'm still alive. He began to pour me acid. He wanted to blind my eye, but I turned my face down on that gutter.
Survivors say they have been tortured and denied medical treatment while detained by the military. Since August 2015, at least 150 pro-Biafra activists and supporters have been killed in numerous incidents involving the Nigerian army. Bodies were dumped in mass graves and even burned to eliminate any evidence.
We cannot rest. If you go to church, they will shoot you. They will burn the church. If you go to the market, they will come there to shoot you. You will also be in your house, they will come there to shoot you. There is no peace of mind in this country.
This is not something that is new within the country. We have documented cases in other parts of the country where the same Nigerian security forces have been carrying out various forms of human rights violation. So we think that the Nigerian government has to go back and ensure that they provide the mandates. They allow the police to do their work, and the military should go back to their barracks.
Voila! Do you listen? Buhala, I'm talking to. Do you listen now? He said IPOB champion it. Yes, of course. We did it. And we're about to do more. We're about to do more. I just pray you, this is one part that happened at Aba High School in 2016. People gathered with flag and flyers. Military came there to open live ammunition on them. After then, they took them to Bolo Pit to burn them so that there will not be any tricks. You see the young guy that survived. They pour him acid. After shooting him, they thought he's gone. They pour him acid. You saw the young guy, you saw the video. What are you talking about? Like I said, me personally, putting Nigeria in CPC is not the solution. The solution is to support Biafra referendum. The solution is to release our leader, to tell the government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because he knows their tablets. He knows how to deal with them. They should release our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and give us date of referendum to decide if we want to be part of the community or not. Look at Britain. They pulled out from EU. No single, even knockout was not shot. They pulled out from EU. But the same Britain is supporting Nigeria against all those atrocities that is going on. Because of what? Game of interest, because of our resources, the oil. So for me, this putting Nigeria in CPC, it's okay, but for me, it's not the main issue. The main issue is to set a date of referendum in Nigeria for we to decide if you want to be part of Nigeria or not. The release of the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is the fact. This is what me personally I want. Not putting Nigeria in CPC. Now, on this issue, you can see person that called himself a bishop is telling the US government that what they are telling them is lie. I'm talking about Bishop Kuka. Bishop Kuka is against putting Nigeria in CPC. He called himself a bishop. You know, when Onyendu say that I will destroy Bishop Kuka, people don't know. Onyendu Nagana more. Mazi Nnamdi is a spiritual man. You know, Bishop Kuka will be sold out. The moment they gave him order of the Niger, he started dancing naked, talking with his both side of his mouth. Go and watch those people that are giving that award, order of the Niger. You must have done something for them, or they're about to use it to do damages. The same way they give Ezekome, and Ezekome betray Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. People are talking jargon that the White Council betray him for what? He's the one that betrayed us because of the order of the Niger they gave to him. The same thing they gave to Bishop Kuka. Today he's dancing naked. Today he's speaking from both sides of his mouth. Wait, let me see if I have because it's very important when we say something, we bring evidence. It's very, very important. All the important. Now in Biafra, look at it. Because this man says to me, I don't say this without proof. Look at it, Bishop Kuka. He said, don't disrelated Nigeria in country of concern. Bishop Kuka argue US. The Catholic Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Matthew Kuka, has cautioned against renewing the move to disintegrated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. A bishop is saying this. He said over religious persecution, he warning that such a step would halt ongoing reconciliation efforts and embodiment extremists. Bishop Cook is the one saying this. A bishop, for that matter, is telling USA not to do that. But today, I think he have to cover his face with shame. He have to cover his face with shame. Today, you have to cover his face with shame. And ask me why? Because they gave him order of the Niger. They gave him order of the Niger. He's speaking from both sides of his mouth. Very stupid people, hopeless people. All the dying. Bishop Kuka never saw that. He said, and they said that there was no genocide. Okay, I think let's see. I want to go to listen to Pastor.
If my government is denying genocide, what will they say about it?
Listen.
If my government is denying genocide,
yeah,
what will they say about it?
Okay. 500 and something people.
United Nations, European Union.
Yeah.
Take note. This is the genocide of people that were killed.
Okay.
On the fateful day of 7 March 2010.
Okay.
Massacre at Dogona Hawa Plateau State.
Thank you.
Names of victims that were killed. Machineries were brought from Niger Republic. They were brought from Chad. They were brought from Burkina Faso, Senegal. They were hired into the nation. They mix up with those from Maiduguri. That's a Muslim state. also from Gombe, Muslim state.
Okay.
In fact, the troop into this place, Bauchi,
Okay.
this is the route that they took. By about midnight, they invaded this village. We are living peacefully in this Dogona Hawa. These are the victims of massacre.
Okay.
Davo Bitrus, Chuan Bitrus, John Nash Ren, Ngoisa Danjuma, all they are under the grave. Karos Nash,
On TikTok,
Lydia E. Danjuma.
TikTok because
See
I'm
the
also on
name.
Facebook. I'm also on
100
so it's not only on
is
TikTok.
moving
I,
to
I, I'm live,
66.
please. You know, it's time to
Ended by
join
Israel
so
Simon,
my range.
Lydia Bulus Chuang, Da Labi Dung. And look at this place too. Dadung, Dagong Dung, Justina Gang, Sani, Pam, Victor Pam. To summarize, to go down to 126. Ran top with Ungo Titi Guam. We move also to 127. Dan Juma Guam. Victoria Zang. Test Crooks. You have been looking for facts. Look at facts.
Okay.
To prove Nigeria government are biggest liar.
Okay.
If they touch them, they will say Muslims are also killed. By who?
Okay.
By Muslim terrorists.
Okay.
After they have eliminated Christian from Katsina, from Zamfara, from Borno, what next? Then the Christian that escaped from the far north, Sokoto, they were able to locate and come back to Plateau State. Because, and they moved down to the south. They escaped their life. Now, the rural villages of Sokoto, Muslim state, Katsina, Muslim state, if you find a Christian, is in the town.
The fact is that now I will allow this video to play. It's about 30 minutes, you know, for you guys to listen. To the Nigerian government, you know, they are big, they are scammers, they are biggest liars. This is the fact. They don't even know that the world is a computer village right now. It's not like 1960s, 70s. The world is a global village. Not just the ports, the Western countries, they have it. But some of them sit on it. Well, kudos to President Trump. Let's continue.
The city, headquarters of the state, that's where there's security. But in the villages, Boko Haram are taking over the villages. Once you're a Christian, you can only be a Christian by serving them as slaves in the local government. Look at what has happened to 189. Look at this monument. It's a memory for what is happening. Chuan S. Dung Gang boat moving down to 252 people. Joseph Johanna. Now let's go back to see the other side of the monument. It continues from 250. Zongdungzi, Chuangdi, Jik, Da Jiang Pam Tang, Kumbo Jiang Tang. It moved down to 315. That is Nerat Jong. We move again to 316. Peace John, Ezekiel Pam. It moved down again to 378. That's Paula Joseph Nyam. It shivered them from the top. That Dungyang went double. It moved down to 401 and 41. Dagom Elia was among them this. Mandung Christopher, that's 402. Garba Danjuma, he moved down to round up to 501. Apart from this list that are here, there are many. Only vultures that were dragged into those rocks. Women were dragged for raping that day. Come and see what happened. Look at the monument. Now can we say there was no genocide in those places? Children are there. There are two accounts of record. The one that I have here, you can see their lists and their ranks in wherever they are. Children were battered. Children, they are among those names. And I have it here, compiled by my father, Reverend Nnamdi, my brother. We have seen here the name of children and adults. Look at it. Ungola Rababulus, adult. Sandra Bitrus, child. Gabriel Bitrus, child. Ngo Yisa Danjuma, adult. Ngo Laraba Danjuma, adult. Timothy Ezekiel Danjuma, child. Lydia, child. Obadiah, child. And somebody will come out and say there was no genocide. This God that we serve, under this Muslim ticket, any Christian that will vote Muslim ticket, may God forgive him. May God show him mercy. He has received his number, 66. I cancel my faith to Muslim ticket. Nigeria is for all of us. Nigeria is for both Muslim and Christian. Nigeria have been working on Muslim and Christian, Christian and Muslim. Why now? That is marginalization. That is genocide. In the world of the politics, the Islamic people have genocide us by killing the Christian, becoming a second man in Asoro. And the so-called Christian don't know what is happening. And those kind that came out and said there's no the grave, the death of these people is screaming in heaven. 501 people are here.
501 persons. 501 persons. Are in a day.
501.
Okay.
Please. And then the Senate are coming. Show them this. My Senate are coming to meet their colleagues. Senate, the screws, take this and present it to them. Is it not genocide? 501 people.
Okay.
And they were able to stand for Hamas and say Israel is committing genocide. What real genocide is in us? Look at the names that are here, there. They are right here in the grave. Dogo Nahawa. By the power of Jesus, we are coming back for real documentary. And we have done it, and we continue to show the world since Remo Amokri has invited to fact banding. Do you bring the American people to this place?
Okay. Leo Mokre.
For fact finding. Did you bring them to this genocide ground? Remo Amokri, why didn't you bring them to Plateau to come and see this place? Are they not people? All are Christians. And you come out and tell me that there's also genocide. That even Muslims are being to shower down, to wash down that Christians are being killed. Muslims are also killed. By who? Is it we Christians that were killing the Muslims? No! That's not our portion in faith. We love the Muslims. We care for them. And we are ever ready to help them. But yet, they are bent to grab our lands. They are bent to take over our villages. They are bent to take over the state of Plateau State, Benue. They are bent to take over. They have taken over Nasarawa State. And they are bent to take this place. We will fight to finish it. We will defend our land to death. As Adesina said.
Biafrans, listen. And first of all, I want you guys to listen. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or Madike Igbo was saying this, guess what? They tag him hate speech. They said this is insulting elders. Hate speech. Hate speech. That he wants to divide the country. They call him all manner of name. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu shouting on Radio Biafra that this is not farmers and elder clash. This is genocide against a particular religion. That when they're done with these people, they are moving down to southeast. People were yabbing, they were insulting him. Insulting him. Please, on TikTok, I don't accept people on TikTok. I'm not really on TikTok. Huh? They were insulting him, calling him names. Everything Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said is not happening today. Everything he said. Is it not happening today? Then where is that man that revealed all those truths? Where is he today? In DSS dungeon. How about the terrorists? They are having a peace there with the federal government. They have been recruited to Nigerian military. But the man that's fighting for his people, they want to use Mago kangaroo court to jail him. But we say no to it. Let's listen to this one before we move to our leader Mazi Nnamdi Kanu issue. It's very important.
Why shall he want us to lose our life and land? It's better for us to lose our land so that we should remain. Adesina, you have never come across the power of the cross will crush you. During Buhari, you were defending Islam. No problem. We will maintain our land. They removed Christopher because he was trying to bring justice. And the justice was crushing the terrorists, the people insurgent that were brought from outside the nation.
Yeah.
And they start shouting, oh, they are killing Muslims. Anakasha Muslimi, Anakasha Muslimi. Walabwa, Tinubu, Kachire, Christopher Zagamada, Damu. You thought we don't know? They cripple him. He want to act. They will say it's a genocide. Ribado is there as the advisor. Very wicked advisor. An evil advisor. He could not give advice to protect our land. But he's displaying religion agenda. God will fight for us when the time has come. And all Christians are I urge you all over the world. If you don't pray for Christians in Nigeria, be ready to face the judgment. This is what is happening. We are all living under fear caused by some people. May God be with us. In Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you.
Okay. This is a pastor from all the way from the middle belt. Going to Jos, to the ground, that over 500 people are being buried at the same day, genocide. With Leo Mockley, they paid him blood money. They paid Leo Mockley blood money. He was defending the Muslim. How about Bishop Kuka? I said, God will punish Bishop Kuka. God will punish him. They gave him order of the Niger. He's speaking from both sides of his mouth. God will punish him. But this is the fight Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been fighting. Yeah. Hello, my sister. Anya Anambra. Ndewo nwanne mmadụ. Ndewo. You know, I'm not only on TikTok, I'm on all my platform, YouTube, Facebook, X handle. You know, because TikTok na market, but I just use another phone for it. Ndewo, nne, you're welcome. All this talk from my other Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for years, they tag him hate speech. They say hate speech everywhere. But today, what is happening? The presidential spokesperson is lamenting that it was IPOB in 2016-15 that pushed for this CPC. And I say, of course, yes, we did it. Because I present the facts from Amnesty International, Mpo Massacre. You guys pious. You think we cannot we relate? If not China, someone kita that destroyed the X handle, today we will be supplying more evidence to US government. But for me, like I said, this CPC Trump designated Nigeria. For me, for me, it's not okay. What is okay for me? Support Biafra referendum. Give us date of referendum. Ask Nigeria to respect their court of law. The least I wanted a man as in Nnamdi Kanu. Because in blacklist, Nigeria was there before. Biden came in and took Nigeria off. So for me, it's never nothing. The main issue, support Biafra referendum. Let's decide if we can live as a people, as one people, or if we can go our separate ways. There is a country in Europe. They are not up to 50,000 people. They're not up to 50,000 people. A country in Europe. Finland, how many are there? Finland is less than 5 million. Sweden, where I live, is less than 12 million. Iceland is less than 1 million. But you are telling me that we are over 17 million people. In as much I feel sorry for what is happening in Benue State, what is happening in Plateau State, in Jigawa and the rest of them, this middle belt. In as much I feel sorry for them, but remember, they are the people they use to buy us between 1967 and 1970. They are the people. They are the people that they use them in Nigerian army to buy us. But when one of their man, Obodai Lafia, the first vice UBA, a Central Bank of Nigeria chairman, said that the leaders of this Middle Belt should come to Southeast to tender apology to us because of the genocide in Biafra war. He said it, and guess what? They buy him. The Middle Belt leaders, did they ask what buy Obodai Lafia? They all keep their mouths shut. I'm so sorry. I'm so sympathized of what is going because we respect human being. We respect woman. We respect woman, you know? That's what our leaders stand for. But remember, look around all those people that in one way or the other that are Biafrans, something is happening to them. Because the innocent people, their blood is still crying. The only thing that can, step down their anger Let those people come in and tender apology to Biafrans. Say they are sorry for what happened. And we can see if the split will come down. Look at what's happening in Kwara State. Go there and see what is happening. Out of 60 local governments, bandits have taken over 11 in Kwara State. Is it not Yoruba land? Now, let's go to our leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's really important. Let's go to about the court case. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tender another file. You know, like you all know before. Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu call on 23 people witness. Then when the last court he went, he told the judge that he have studied his case file and he found out that he did not commit any crime. He said he did not commit any crime. So on that note, he can't open his defense. And he stands on no case submission. That's what he said. That's what he said. Now there is a video let's listen to this video. Let's listen to this video. It's very important. Let's listen. Let's listen to this video.
Of Biafra, Ipob, Mazi, Nnamdi, Kanu, has filed a fresh motion before the Federal High Court in Abuja seeking the dismissal of all charges against him and his immediate release. In the motion dated October 30, 2025, entitled Motion on Notice and Written Address in Support, Kanu argued that there is no valid charge against him under any existing law in Nigeria. He said the charge currently before the court are a nullity ab initio for want of any extant legal foundation. The Ipob leader, who is representing himself, filed a motion under sections 1366B and 3612 of the 1999 Constitution, the Evidence Act 2011, and the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. He maintained that the prosecution relied on repealed and non-existent laws, including the Customs and Exercise Management Act, (SEMA), which was repealed by the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023, and the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, repealed by the TPPA 2022. Kanu said the reliance on such repealed laws violates Section 3612 of the Constitution, which prohibits trial for an offense not defined under an existing law. He therefore urged the court to strike out the charges in their entirety, insisting they do not constitute any offense not to law. Citing the Supreme Court's decision in FRON versus Kanu, Supreme Court CR/1361/2022, he argued that lower courts are bound to take judicial notice of repealed laws under Section 122 of the Evidence Act 2011, adding that failure to do so renders all proceedings void. Kanu also contended that the counts against him were allegedly committed in Kenya in violation of Section 76(1)(d) 3 of the TPPA 2022, which requires validation by a Kenyan court before such acts can be tried in Nigeria. He said this omission nullifies the court's extraterritorial jurisdiction and breaches Article 7(2) of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights. He further maintained that under Sections 1, 3, and 3612 of the Constitution, any law or judicial act inconsistent with the Constitution is void. He cited previous court decisions such as Aoko versus Fagbemi, 1961, 1, all NLR 400, and FRON versus Ifegu, 2003, 15, NWLRO, Part 842-113, where convictions based on non-existent laws were nullified. Kanu urged the court to direct the prosecution to respond to his motion strictly on points of law within 3 days and to deliver a ruling on or before November 4, 2025. He stated that his application raises only constitutional and legal questions derived from existing laws and therefore does not require an affidavit. And that concludes the news at noon on Leadership Television. For more, log in to www.leadership.ng. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 0.
So I'm asking those people on this mainstream Nigerian TV that are talking jargon. Some of them that call themselves Sam. Some of them that call themselves lawyers. Do you guys listen to Mazi Nnamdi? The law? This law is not a foreign law. It's Nigeria law. Nigeria made this law by themselves. It's in Nigeria constitution. IPOB leader is quoting your law for you. IPOB leader is telling you what your law said. Then why do you want to go against your law? Why do you want to go against your law? I'm asking those Otunesians, whatever all those lawyers, sons, they don't know their self. They pay degree. People like so-called barrister Darrenton, that people listening to, we thought that is someone. I say in this struggle, you see, in this struggle, never you trust anyone because anything can happen. Those of you who don't know this man, barrister Darrenton, people share his videos because of how he presents the facts. But today, that man is speaking from both sides of his mouth. Well, let me see. Let me see if we have his video here. It's very important. Let me see if we have this video. Because when I come and they with evidence. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I want you guys to listen to this man. I want you guys to listen.
Federal government brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria.
Okay.
For a case of terrorism.
Okay.
That is issue at stake.
Okay.
The onus is on Nnamdi Kanu to now question his extraordinary rendition. These are two different things. Nnamdi Kanu ought to sue the federal government, but as of today, Nnamdi Kanu is not suing anybody. Rather, the federal government is suing Nnamdi Kanu for what he did or what was alleged to have been done. The two of them are different. It is after this case has been adjudicated upon, then Nnamdi Kanu can now question why they had to kidnap him from Kenya.
Barrister, wouldn't that be like medicine after death?
No, it's not. But you can't mix up the two cases now. You are not challenging why you were brought from Kenya.
Now, this a man, no? Even the co-host was telling him, don't you think that will be medicine after death? For Onyendu to open up his defense. Then you want to try illegality on legality. The way and manner it was brought to Nigeria, this guy is not your concern. But he wants only to open up his defense. Later, he can now sue Nigeria government. Can you imagine that? And call himself a barrister. Well, you don't know what they have given him, or maybe on which pleasure he is like now, that make him to speak this jargon. The same man, but Darrenton or whatever, don't even know the appeal court said that no court in Nigeria will try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of the way and manner was brought to the country. This time, know if you cocoa, people should not mad the co-op. Utobo. He's not speaking from both sides of his mouth. I want you guys to talk. Let's listen to him.
You are not.
Barrister, he did challenge it. That was why the court said you don't have the jurisdiction to try him.
No, listen.
He challenged it.
The first thing that the federal government did was to bring him for trial over what? Terrorism. That is the issue at stake now. Nnamdi Kanu can no longer come and say, because you brought me extraordinarily through extraordinary means, therefore you have
on what ground? On what ground did the appeal court say that the High Court ab initio doesn't have local standard to try him? On what ground was that judgment given?
Thank you.
Look at it. The judges that carried that decision in the appeal court, where are they now? Do you know that?
No, barrister. Forget where are they. On what ground did the appeal court give that judgment? Did the court grant Nnamdi a...
Do you guys listen to him? Even the co-host is educating him, telling him, he said, no, forget about that one. He said, the judge, where are they now? Is that the issue? The issue, what did the appeal court said? That was what the man asking you. What did the appeal court said? This co-barrister, that thing. Ndala. This man, that you not mad because who knows the pressure and upon here now? Or who knows now? Ogoli and Nyan Choncho or the co-host was against him, telling him on what ground did the appeal court say no court can try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Now, what did he say? He said the judge that said that where are the judge? Are we talking about the judge or are we talking about the law of Nigeria, their constitution? What the law said is not what we're talking about. Let's continue listening. It's very important.
Prayer that he didn't ask for.
No, Nnamdi Kanu was mixing it up initially. When they brought those charges, remember the charges that was quashed in the appeal court, 15 count charges, is those things that the DSS brought against him. And it was quashed. Even when they got to the Supreme Court now told Nnamdi Kanu, sue the federal government, enter a civil suit against the federal government for what they did to you. That was where they now brought up these charges against Nnamdi Kanu. So that is what we are talking about now. But so far, Nnamdi Kanu, I didn't hear where he has.
You have not answered my question.
I have answered you, but you don't understand.
I'm asking you, on what ground did the appeal court say that the High Court, because this man was brought in illegally, you don't have the local standard to try him. And I'm asking you, did the appeal court grant a prayer that Nnamdi didn't seek?
Okay.
Or did he just walk into court and court said, look, High Court, you shouldn't have tried him because you brought him back illegally?
The charges at the appeal court, was it not quashed? It was quashed. It was quashed. Is that not true? All the charges against Nnamdi Kanu was quashed at the appeal court.
And yet the appeal court also said the High Court doesn't have right to try him.
At that point, they ought to have left him. But the federal government brought the charges again. When the matter went to appeal, remember, he ought to have been let off the hook. But the federal government, in their own wisdom, brought another charge on Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
And that is where we are now.
Okay, not on the previous charges.
I mean, can't you see it? It had been quashed already.
So, Biafrans, you can see how this man want to defend illegality upon legality. You can see how he want to defend illegality on legality. The host is asking him, on what ground did the appeal court say that no court in Nigeria has the right to try Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? He was asking this guy, where are the judges today? Was that the question? Was that the question? Mr. Darlington, now, okay, let's listen to the late Buhari. What he said now, our leader committed. Let's listen to him.
And the one we are calling Kanu, do you know he has 2 passports? One Nigerian, one British, and he came to this country without using any passport. Do you know he brought an equipment into this country, a sophisticated equipment, and was broadcasting for Radio Biafra? Which kind of government do you want to have?
But we wrote an editorial against him.
What? Premium Times wrote editorial against his radio station and called on the federal government to stop that. So he should be given bail to go away. There's a treasonable felony against him, and I hope the court will listen to the case.
What else to listen again?
Your Excellency.
I'll call him Kanu. Do you know he has 2 passports? And the one we are calling Kanu, do you know he has 2 passports? One Nigerian, one British, and he came to this country without using any.
That was the crime.
Do you know he brought an equipment into this country?
He brought equipment.
And was broadcasting.
And was broadcasting on Radio Biafra.
Which kind of government do you want to have? But we wrote an editorial against him. What? Premium Times wrote editorial.
This is the crime of Nnamdi Kanu.
And called on the federal government to stop that. So
he have 2 passports.
There's a treasonable felony against him, and I hope the court will listen to the case.
Treasonable felony against him. What was the crime he committed? According to him, he said he have 2 passports. He imported radio equipment. He's broadcasting on radio. On radio. That was the crime. That was the treason felony. Annual fear no one. Chineke akpogi oku already said. He's talking about. That was the crime. That was the crime. Let's go to another video. Let's go to another video. Now, I want you guys to listen to Dave Umahi. To tell you guys, man committed no crime. I want you guys to listen to Dave Umahi. They know that Onyendu man committed no crime. What he's doing, he was doing that under the ethics of Nigerian law. He was doing that under Nigerian constitution. That everything he done was on that. He followed the guideline. That's why up to today, there is no law that they can use to jail him. They are trying to try him under a law that does never existed. That's why you're asking them on which law that they want to try me. I want you guys to listen to Dave Umahi.
I have a number of times refrained myself from talking about Ipob or ESN, but just because you've constantly been mentioning it, let me throw a little bit light to that. In as much as Ipob and ESN is, to a number of people, is like a necessity due to insecurity in Southeast, and they have their demands, they have their agitations, they have, what, according to them, making them angry. But let me tell you the truth of what is happening. There are bandits everywhere. There are criminals everywhere. There are cultists everywhere. So what happens now in South is that criminals who may not necessarily be members of Ipob and the ESN, we go and commit crime. And they needed a name. So it's safer for them to say, oh, we are members of ESN, we are members of Ipob. So that the, in quote, the persecution of Ipob and ESN by the federal government, we cover them. That is what is happening in Southeast. Because the Ipob people and the ESN have a number of times come out to say, look, we are not, into terrorism. We are not into violence. We're simply agitating. And these people that are burning police stations, these people that are killing, they are not our members. And so how do you reconcile the two? And that's the kind of self-help, that is unfolding, because somebody is killed, he cannot defend himself, and then somebody comes out to say, oh, we're going to defend you. And then the person tends to have confidence in that person, even though it's illegal. But he wants life to be sustained.
It's a rather complex situation, but what...
There? This is from Devil Mai. We all know his antecedents against our leader Mazi Nnamdi. Today, the spirit of Biafra, the Timbodombo, Una confess Naga. Just like tomorrow, Jovika, I have there van with Ezoku Chineke. Jovika, I hate Timbodombo with Ezoku Chineke. Even Polia Joe the liar Eze. Joe, liar Eze. Vika. Look at the flyer here. Don't miss the program tomorrow. Don't miss the program tomorrow. Where is it? Hold on. Yeah. This program. We are going to destroy this man, this level with truth. Ezoku Chineke. You can see the name I call him. Joe the liar Eze Vika. His case is on my desk. Tomorrow, tomorrow, 5 p.m. Biafra time. Don't miss it. And he also is also invited. They have told me that yes, they have saw my program that is watching, that I should carry on. Sense of bad law. I also invited him on our also debate. He was on our also debate. He said, come, bring your facts. Don't miss this program tomorrow. We'll have to go on break. When we come back, we continue from the Wise Council, Barrister Ejimako, the interview. Because Barrister Ejimako we suppose to come tomorrow on our platform, but his health is not so that good. We hope in coming days he will be okay because the tear gas affected him. And I say Chukwu Kika Abia Mande Munde Egede Chevia and lead him battle ahead. I told you guys already Mako will bring Maznankan out. Well, let's go on break. When we come back, we go straight to this.
Jeremba dala lota, maka lota, aga na pohara n'ọnụ. Ọnwa lota, ike geme, ụjọ na tuzido. Ịmanụ ụjọ na tuzido. Ịmanụ ụjọ na tuzido. Obodo adịghị mma. Obodo adịghị mma, o nwere
welcome others as I welcome you. We are live at all our platforms on Facebook, Ikechukwu Ezumezu. On Facebook, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu. Also on Facebook, Ikechukwu Omadi Ezumezu. We're also live on TikTok, Ikechukwu Ezumezu or Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu on TikTok. We're also live on X handle, Chukwudi Benjamin Ezumezu. We're also live on YouTube. Ikechukwu Ezumezu. So it's very important. If you want to see all the videos I'm playing, please come over to the YouTube or X handle or Facebook, because on TikTok, their community standard is too much. So I'm just using a phone by the corner on TikTok. They can hear the voice, but they cannot see all the videos I'm playing. But if you want to see the video, please come over to YouTube, Ikechukwu Ezumezu, or on X and or Facebook. You will see our videos. Now let's go to the interview granted by the Wise Council, Pastor Aleji Mako, earlier today. It's very important. Hold on. So, if you want to see the video I'm playing, please come over on my YouTube, Ikechukwu Ezumezu, or on Facebook, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu, or Ikechukwu Ezumezu, or Ikechukwu Omadi Ezumezu. It's very important. So right now we want to play the video, the interview by the Wise Council, Pastor Aleji Mako, earlier today. I hope I download this video. I'm supposed to download it, you know. Well, if it's not here, well, let's go where we can get it. First of all, but before we go to the interview earlier today, let's go to the press release that they made, you know. So let's go to the press release before We go to the interview. It's very important.
But legal practitioners have described the detention of Nnamdi Kanu as trial by ordeal as against the required trial by the Constitution. The lead legal counsel to Nnamdi Kanu, Alo Ejimako Esquire, made the assertion during a press briefing with journalists in Abuja. According to Barrister Ejimako, the case has turned from a judicial matter to a political matter, owing to the calls from persons and organizations calling for a solution of the case outside the judicial part.
Apparently, in taking the decision to proscribe IPOB and declare it a terrorist group, neither the Southeast governors who fired the first salvo nor the federal government had recourse to Section 42 of the Nigerian Constitution, which is a fundamental right, a section guaranteeing the fundamental right of every Nigerian against discrimination based on ethnicity. I'm saying this because later in time this matter went to court, and the High Court of Enugu State, in a landmark ruling, pronounced the executive action or administrative action leading to that prescription as violative of Section 42 of the Constitution based on some ethnic considerations against the Igbo. In March 2018, the African Union, through its African Commission on Human and People's Rights, which administers human rights.
Now, ask yourself, why Nigeria always violate their own law? Why? Why Nigeria always violate their own law? Why Nigeria don't even respect their law? Oh, because we are Igbos. Because of Mazi Nnamdi is an Igbo man. Oh, now I realize there are two laws in Nigeria. One for Nigerians and one for Igbos. In their own law, they always don't obey their law. Everything Mazi Nnamdi did is did under the habit of Nigerian law. That is why no court in Nigeria have sentenced him, have jailed him. But they are doing all manner of things in the name of Justice Otozo. What is his name? I've forgotten his name. The judge. But Mazi Nnamdi is 10,000 miles from you. Judges Obumosho. You cannot jail Mazi Nnamdi because your courts have no decision to try his case. No. It's asking you on what law do you want to try him. Let's listen to the lawyer, Marco. Let's listen to him.
Adjudications in the continent of Africa held against the federal government that the proscription was wrong under the African Charter, which bound Nigeria. Nigeria ratified the African Charter in 1983, and from that date it is bound by it. So this African Commission on Human and People's Rights had clear jurisdictions to decide this case, and it decided against the federal government and wrote a strongly worded letter to the then president of Nigeria to retrace his steps and restore IPOB to its former legal status and cease and desist from further arresting or harassing or persecuting members of IPOB. Yet, from the date of issuance of that decision to when the former president left office, nothing was done. Rather, the opposite was done.
Aloy Ejimako, while narrating the ordeals faced by Nnamdi Kanu, said in spite of Nigeria being a ranking member of African Union, the government had failed to implement provisions of the African Charter as well as other regional and international human rights laws and standards.
The persecution prosecution, arrest, torture, everything became even worse. It is pertinent to mention at this juncture, perhaps as a necessary digression, that had the former president of Nigeria implemented that directive issuing from the African Union, a lot of people who died numbering in the hundreds, some say in the thousands, and in fact, including Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's infamous extraordinary rendition from Kenya in 2021, wouldn't have happened. A lot of lives would have been saved, and the nation would have been more at peace. And we will not have the insecurity that we are grappling with today in the Southeast. And further to the decision of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, the United Nations, through its special rapporteurs, transmitted a decision in 2020, May, precisely 2020, no, in October 2020, condemning the proscription, IPOB, and the terrorist tag placed on it. The quotations of what they said are contained in our press release, and they are verbose. But the summary of what they are saying is that the action of the federal government was driven by some ethnic considerations against the Igbo, and that the action offended every known canon of international human rights law. Consequently, this organ, which is a very important organ of the United Nations, directed the federal government to do the opposite by deproscribing IPOB. Here we are with the dramatis personae, the most single factor in this whole saga is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who remains in detention to this day under questionable circumstances.
The 16th of January 2025 makes it 9 years since the arrest and detainment of Nnamdi Kanu, who was charged for treasonable felony and other crimes. His legal counsel described his continued detention as illegal. But legal practitioners have described the detention of Nnamdi Kanu as trial by ordeal as against the required trial by the Constitution. The lead legal counsel to Nnamdi.
Now, ask yourself, why are they not obeying their own law? Why? Why? The Wise Council, this is the Wise Council by Saleh Markov. The White Council by Saleh.
Supposed to be an inhaler.
This is what Nigeria government did to them on that day, on 28th of October 2025, on Maznakan protest, the tear gas. And even when they were in police custody, still the Nigeria government still tear gas them again. So, like the news we had, and in Kuje prison, he collapsed and he was rushed to hospital. And even today, when I spoke with him, I can see his voice and everything. He was sounding so weak. But with a couple of days, he will get himself back. We're supposed to have him on our platform tomorrow to tell us about our leader's case. But in a couple of days, maybe 3 days, everything will be okay. Then we will have him. But now, let's go to the interview he have earlier today, because he struggled to give that interview because he needed to speak. So let's go to the interview.
The protest was not directed against the judiciary to begin with. The protest was directed against the executive decision of the federal government to prosecute Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Protest is a communicative measure taken by citizens in a democracy to express their discontent to their government. If you lose the right of protest to your government, peaceful protest, then what is the essence of democracy? I won 3 victories from Nnamdi Kanu, one before the Abia State High.
Now, on this note, I have to put out my link on Facebook, on YouTube, on Ando. People on TikTok, I don't know if I can accept you guys. Maybe it will be difficult on Android both because TikTok is on a separate phone. But let's see if there's anyone who want to come in on TikTok. Let's see if we can have him. But let's send the link out on YouTube and also on Facebook. So the link is there now on YouTube. Ikechukwu Ezumezu, the link is there. Also on Facebook, Mazi Ezumezu Nwekwensu. Let's go on X and on S and on X. Let's go on S. We can also send our link out from on X. So we have sent our link on X. So if you want to comment, if you want to say something, you can come in and say something. But remember, your camera must be open. If your camera is not open, we are not bringing you in. Also on TikTok, if anyone who want to contribute right now, your camera must be open. But I don't know how you will see the videos I'm playing. No, they won't. Let's continue.
Court, one before the Federal High Court in Romania, and one before the Enugu State High Court. The Southeast will continue to struggle politically. Unfortunately, we are politically disadvantaged in this country since the end of the war. So IPOB numbers in the millions of members and followers and sympathizers. So for any discussion of how to move Southeast forward, I think there has to be a consideration that they be brought to the table. And how best can we bring them to the table than bringing their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? P2B has publicly called for a halt to the prosecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So why do they keep looking for him? The buck stops at President Tinubu's table. If he does not free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he can forget the votes of people of Southeast. Unless there's another plan. You're not going to win Southeast without freeing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay, let's start with you are spending 2 nights at the correctional facility.
Yeah.
What was the experience like?
The experience was traumatic. Anybody that tells you otherwise is in denial. It actually didn't start at Kuje. Kuje is the second phase in the whole saga. It started at Abattoir, the notorious detention facility at the SARS of Gusape, that area. That's where it started on Monday, the other Monday, 20th. So it was more traumatic at the police cell than it was at Kuje. So going to Kuje was more of
graduating from a very terrible situation to something a bit less terrible. At the SARS detention facility in Abuja, overnight we were cramped into a 14 by 12 room. All of us, all 13 detainees, myself, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, and the others, were cramped in that room. It has only one toilet, and it has like 3 or 4 steps that are supposed to double for bed. There's nothing there, so you just have to lay down. So it didn't, contain all of us in terms of lying down. So most of us had to sit it out the whole night, and that most of us, included me particularly, I couldn't find myself lying on that, hard concrete floor overnight. So I just sat it out, almost in a fetal position like this, and it was quite traumatic. About 7:30 in the morning, the following day, they came for us, and of course we didn't have telephone privileges, so nobody knew where we were. We were taken initially to the police CID headquarters in Gariki, and they led people to believe that's where we were. So somewhere along the line, in the late of the night, when it was about 7:30 in the evening, they just ordered us out. Came out, they deployed tear gas against us. It was very perplexing and baffling. I don't know why you would deploy tear gas against people you already have in custody at the force headquarters. And one of them was deployed very close to me. So the entire fume in great volumes, got inhaled into my lungs, and I lost my voice. I'm still trying to get my voice back. That was the second one that was deployed at me personally. The first one was at the point of arrest or interdiction. So all of that got taken in, and I think I'm struggling with some kind of respiratory issues right now. I just came from my doctor, and that's the diagnosis. You can see the cast where they, access my veins to do some intravenous treatment. So that's how it happened. And they took us from Abattoir, that is the SARS, early in the morning, around 7:30, and drove us all the way to Kuje, and nobody told us where we were going. We were all perplexed and confused, and that we had no way of informing our people where we were. And they were looking for us all over Abuja until we got to Kuje. So you begin to wonder, while you get arrested in Wuse and Otako and get taken to Kuje magistrate for arraignment the following day, when we have about 20 or maybe 15 magistrate courts closer to the location of arrest. So your guess is as good as mine. So when we got there, the magistrate wouldn't let us say any word. I told the magistrate, I'm a lawyer. He said, well, I know who you are. There was another lawyer amongst us, one barrister, Okere. He wouldn't let him speak. He said, well, you will not address me as lawyers because you are not dressed. We said, okay, we are suspects. Can we take a plea and apply for bail? He said, well, somebody got up and said, one lady lawyer got up and said, their counsel is on the way. Maybe your Lord, my Lord, whatever, your worship, can we take a stand down for 20 minutes? Their counsel, Barrister Mazi, is on the way. He just shook his head and got angry. I don't know what made him angry, whether it was contrived or real. He just ordered us remanded till Friday to Kuje Correctional Facility. That's what happened. Very baffling. So we were headed away from the courtroom. We were all confused at how the justice system got so dispensed, so unjustly and so quickly, that a suspect, a defendant, no more had any right to take a plea. That's a basic right you have when you are produced in court. Tell me what I did so I can answer guilty or not guilty. Guilty, you are sentenced. It ends. Not guilty, then you apply for bail. Either your bail application is denied or is granted, but not giving you or affording you the opportunity to take that plea is the most egregious assault at the constitutional requirement of fair hearing.
All right. One is tempted to ask, why were you arrested and where were you arrested?
They said we disobeyed order of a public officer. By interpretation, it meant there was some court order against the protest that we ostensibly or allegedly disobeyed. The order was never served. You know, before the protest, the initiator of the protest was the Omoyele Showere. I supported the protest as a Nigerian, as an upstanding Nigerian, as an Igbo man, as somebody who believes in justice. I supported it openly. Okay, I went around with Showere to drum up support for the protest. It was supposed to be peaceful protest. And we did apply to the police, and it was approved. They went to court to get a court order to stop the protest in its tracks. The judge refused. They pressured, so the judge gave a limited order that the protest could go on. But the judge created a perimeter beyond which the protest cannot go. And it was named, in particular, Shehu Shagari Way, the 3-arm zone that includes the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Aso Rock and National Assembly. That was all. I was arrested behind Transcorp Hilton Hotel along with others. Showere was with me. I don't know how he managed to escape in that whole billow of smoke, of tear gas and all that. I think there was a vehicle that was passing by. He managed to jump into the vehicle. The driver opened the door and he jumped in, something like that. Otherwise, he would have been arrested on the spot. I was with him shoulder to shoulder. So we were around the intersection of Ahmad Bello and Adetugumba de Mola in Wuse. He fell outside the perimeter that the court ordered that you shouldn't go. Right around where you turn onto a small street to go into the EFCC. And those two hotels that have the same name on the left, that was where we were. I was there. My vehicle was parked. My driver was inside. I came out and I was calling Showere on the phone. He asked me, where are you? I told him where I was. So he came. The moment he got there, we got together. A small crowd formed around us. People that came with him, and others, and so on and so forth. And we just started shouting, yelling, sloganeering peacefully. Free Nnamdi Kanu, free Nnamdi Kanu, free Nnamdi Kanu. I think maybe they had a scout somewhere around there. There was no police inside. There was no police cordon. There was no police contingent anywhere around. But apparently they had a scout. So the scout went all the way to the Hilton, Transport Hilton and Jerry Ghana Junction where they were and told them that these people are over there yelling the slogan of protest. So they deployed from that side and so they're pursuing us. They came to us, we didn't go to them. We were way outside the perimeter, 2 kilometers away from the perimeter beyond which the court order said we shouldn't go. So they brought their violence to us. It was a violent arrest, interdiction, forceful, even though the protesters were under their control because they had so many vehicles and so many well-armed police officers. I don't know what they were doing with loaded weapons, and almost each one of them was carrying canisters of tear gas, and they were shooting this thing indiscriminately to the point that it affected some of them. One of the officers was yelling, "Take it easy, take it easy." But the ones that had gone mad with impunity and draconism would not listen. They kept shooting and shoving people around and so on and so forth.
Looking at even the perimeter restriction of the court, is it an infringement on your fundamental rights, given the fact that protest is constitutionally guaranteed?
Yes.
So even as the court was limiting it, was it a breach on your own fundamental right?
Now, that order issued from an ex parte application. An ex parte application implies that there's a bigger case coming. So we're going to court and we're going to join issues with them in a substantive setting, in an adversarial setting. Where they make their case, we make ours. Then the point that you just made will come in. Since when did Nigerians lose their constitutional right to peaceably assemble, their constitutional right to protest and to free speech? Protest is a communicative measure taken by citizens in a democracy to express their discontent to their government.
Yeah.
If you lose the right of protest to your government, peaceful protest, then what is the essence of democracy? That is the question that has to be answered, and it will be answered by the court of law. But right now, we are talking to the court of the public opinion. This is a question I want all Nigerians to ponder. Do you think it is right for your government to arrest you, to subdue you so violently and subject you to a whole week of imprisonment without trial just because you came out and you told your government, I am not happy with a particular policy. Can you please change it? The protest was not directed against the judiciary to begin with. The judiciary does not initiate prosecutions. The protest was directed against the executive decision of the federal government to prosecute Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Yeah.
Prosecuting someone is different from trying that person.
Yeah.
Subjecting you to trial is the duty and it's within the province of the courts.
Yeah.
But to trigger that trial, the executive branch takes a step, and that step is called prosecution.
Yeah.
So we were out there to tell President Tinubu, not Justice James Omotosho or the Nigerian Federal High Court. No, we were there to tell President Tinubu, the man you have before the courts under trial did nothing wrong. And the manner by which or in which he was brought into the country does not give you the right to subject him to trial. That is all. Pure and simple. That what he was doing or the enterprise for which you are traducing him and prosecuting him is an enterprise that is protected under Nigerian law and international law. That enterprise is called self-determination.
Okay.
It's a view, it's a political opinion that may be inconvenient to the government, and that is why the mischief rule in every national law protected it as a political right. If the mischief rule or people who founded nations didn't think it was wise, they wouldn't have put it there, that you had the right to self-determination. But when a government, your government, in response to that right, seeks to suppress your expression of that right by means of punishment of some sort, that becomes egregious. It becomes a challenge to the entire society to ask whether such is the correct government response in a democracy.
Some people also wonder, as defense counsel for Nnamdi Kanu, why did you embark on the protest?
Defense counsel to Nnamdi Kanu has not lost his right as a Nigerian. I know the rules of the bar, the rules of subjudice, and so on and so forth. I wasn't in the protest to tell the court on how to make rulings or how to render judgments or to express opinion on how the court is conducting the proceedings. I was in the protest to express my views to the government of my country that your prosecutorial policy as deployed and levied against my fellow citizen, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, is wrong. Stop it and halt it. It's my right to do so, despite the fact that I'm a defense counsel. Some of the most far-reaching reforms we enjoy today in terms of our civic rights, we are pioneered through protests led by lawyers like Gani Fawemi and others who are still living a life, like people like Femi Falana. Being a lawyer and even participating in a case does not rob you of having an opinion over that case, an opinion you can express publicly without breaching the zone of subjudice that the court would not want you to go. I was careful to walk that thin line. And I was in my proper zone. I didn't breach anything.
And then one is also tempted to ask, going to public protest, does it imply by any stretch of imagination that you've lost confidence in judiciary?
No.
In the judicial process?
No. I'm an officer in the Temple of Justice. If I tell you I have lost confidence in the judiciary, then I might as well hang my wig and gown and go to the village and maybe begin to farm. Okay? Or begin to go somewhere and become a philosopher. And even lose interest in the entire society. No. I have confidence in the judiciary. I won 3 victories from Nnamdi Kanu. One before the Abia State High Court, one before the Federal High Court in Umuahia, and one before the Enugu State High Court. It is the same judiciary. They have given me a fair shake. I have confidence in the Federal High Court. They've given me a victory. So that underscores my confidence. But it does not mean that I'm naive. It does not mean that I will be blind to the political winds that are pervading the case of Mazi and Nnamdi. There is this palpable political content in it that is far beyond the capacity of judiciary to resolve. And that is why judiciary has been grappling with that case since 2015, going on to 10 years. It's a very tough nut to crack for the judiciary, but very easy nut to crack for the executive branch. It's all politics.
Yeah.
So my taking it to the public square to Nigerians was to, awaken the consciousness of Nigerians to see the politics in the case and to lay the blame for the lingering, for this case lingering for so much, lay the blame where it should be laid. The buck stops at the president's table. If President Tinubu directs the Attorney General to exercise the powers of his office under Section 174 of the Nigerian Constitution to discontinue this case, it will be over. Pure and simple. That was my goal.
Maybe some people might need to ask, why is Nnamdi Kanu still being held if from several reports there is this argument that he has no case to answer, he has not done nothing wrong? Why is he still being held? And is there any window of chance for him to be freed?
This case is grounded upon the proscription of IPOB and tagging it a terrorist group. So Nnamdi Kanu got caught up as the leader of IPOB. Do you understand? That's one of the charges. As a matter of fact, 2 other charges were grounded on the basis of his leadership of a proscribed organization. So when I took the case to the Enugu State High Court in 2023, the Enugu State High Court ruled that the manner of proscribing IPOB violated Section 42 of Nigerian Constitution. That is the section of the Nigerian Constitution under Chapter 4 of the Constitution that prohibited discrimination against any Nigerian on the basis of ethnicity. The court mentioned expressly that the proscription of IPOB was a directed executive discrimination against the Igbo ethnic group. And sometime in October 2022, the United Nations Special Rapporteurs, an organ of the United Nations that oversees human rights violations in foreign countries, had also reached the same conclusion. It wasn't by conjecture. They mentioned the Igbo ethnic group. They are the forerunners of what I'm about to say. And what I'm about to say is this. Let it sink in. Nnamdi Kanu is being travailed because he's Igbo. Pure and simple. If he wasn't Igbo, this case would have been over 9-8 years ago. I'm not the first one that said it. A judicial body has said it. Enugu State High Court has said it indirectly. United Nations Special Rapporteurs has said it indirectly and directly to some extent because they mentioned Nnamdi Kanu by name. So let us stop beating around the bush. And this is the reason that really helped galvanize me. As an Igbo man, I shouldn't have a trembling knee. I'm not an Igbo man with a trembling knee. So when you step on the rights of an upstanding Igbo man and it gets my attention, I'll fight for him. If I don't do it in the courts, I do it on the streets. And I fight peaceably, but I'll fight strongly and vigorously. Because it's one for all for one. If I let that one sit up, if I sit it out, one day it may be my turn. I also fight for other Nigerians, but it gotta be Igbo first before I become a Nigerian. So I cannot be in denial that all is well with Igbo man in Nigeria. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the poster boy for that.
How soon are we expecting freedom for him? Any hope?
It lies with President Tinubu. I hope someday, somewhere, a journalist will ask him that question. But I'll tell you what, when I see statements issuing from the villa, not in particular from Tinubu himself, from President Tinubu himself, but from his underlings, that this matter should be resolved by the courts, it gets me thinking, is someone somewhere contriving some predetermined result from the courts? what is informing this blind confidence about the matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be resolved by the courts? It begins to sound to me like someone who stole your election, and before you open your mouth, INEC tells you go to court, like a mantra. You know, it's suspicious. Why wasn't Igboho's case resolved in the courts?
Yeah.
Why wasn't the chairman of Miet Allah's case resolved by the courts?
Yeah.
Why wasn't Showore's case resolved by the courts?
Good.
So when they begin to insist that the matter of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should be resolved by the courts, it takes me back to 1963, when they were also saying the same thing about the case of Obafemi Awolowo and Anthony Inahoro, charged with treasonable felony. And they were facing a trial in which they had the option of taking summary trial or the other, but they pushed them into summary trial and convicted them with a bat of an eyelid. It was a political trial. They were also saying it should be resolved by the courts. So his conviction was contrived. We learned later from Justice Show that his hands were tied. So it makes you suspicious when the executive branch that is prosecuting you leaves no room for discussion other than telling you it should be resolved by the courts. Otherwise, why do we have that provision in Nigerian Constitution that the Attorney General can discontinue a criminal prosecution?
Yeah.
Why is it difficult to apply that to an Igbo man when that very provision had been applied to non-Igbos in recent times, including by the present administration?
All right, let's move on. The issue of Nnamdi Kanu, we had sacking all his lawyers or firing all his lawyers, and including very senior advocate of Nigeria, Kanu Agabi, and other counsels from defending him. What are the implications and what is left for him?
Well, you know, using the word firing is not, I would say debriefing and disengaging. It's a strategic move by him. He's a well-educated man, and he has his mind intact. He's fully aware of what he's doing. That's all I can say to that.
Why do you think the Southeast governors are not championing the cause of Nnamdi Kanu's release?
It's for them to answer, and it's quite shameful that is the conclusion that has been drawn since last year, when they declared in July last year that they were going to interface with the president on the issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Nothing has been done. So they just have to explain to Ndibo why they have not taken any step visible, seen. I hear a lot of things that some of them have taken some covert steps, but I didn't see that. But I don't have any reason to doubt them. But I think what needs to be done and what needs to be convincing is something you do in the open. If Southeast governors empanel themselves or convene themselves one day and say, this weekend we are going to Villa to discuss with President Tinubu on the question of this issue of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, I think, you know, Ndibo will be very proud of them. That hasn't happened. And to me, it's not something that to be proud of.
Looking at the strategic moves you talked about right now, what is the current status of his defense?
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu believes that he has no case to answer, that there are no charges facing him. Listen, let me tell you a story. You know, you're not lawyers, but you know that once a law is repealed, it's repealed. Can you believe that the Terrorism Prevention and Amendment Act 2013 was repealed in July 2022? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still being charged under that old law, which was replaced in July 2022 by Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. We're in 2025, and you're still trying him on an old law. Let's not talk about extraordinary rendition, because somebody might say, oh, the Supreme Court said, okay, he was rendition, but he's still subject to trial. But there are other issues dancing around that. What about the root fair hearing that was not given to him in Kenya? If Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was offered the the due process of extradition in Kenya, he may not be here today. Because there are a lot of defenses to extradition within the extradition laws of any nation, including Kenya. So there are just so many issues. And, you know, he was discharged in October 2023. Okay? Now, this case took like a year and a half to get reinstated. And while that was going on, in fact, even at the Court of Appeal, the law was repealed. So what is he facing before the Nigerian judiciary now? Charges based on old law. It's for the courts to decide. But these are one of the, you know, defenses in chief or cases in chief that are emanating from him that are a challenge to his prosecution or his trial.
The judge handling the case has said he should consult very experienced lawyers to explain to him the implication of standing trial for himself, or I don't know that or what it implies. So what is your own advice on this matter as it is now? Representing himself or going to seek for more serious advice?
He has legal consultants.
So what is he likely to do now?
Nnamdi Kanu will not be the first person to defend himself in a criminal trial. I can give you several examples. Martin Luther King did it in America. At some point, in the Gandhi, the father of non-violent resistance, did it in South Africa before he escaped to India. I think Mandela tried to defend himself too at some point. And in 1963, we go back to Awolowo again. Awolowo defended himself. He was assisted by some lawyers, including one from England, who was denied entry into Nigeria, but eventually he was granted entry. So Awolowo defended himself. So a lot of defendants, people who were subjected to criminal trial, have defended themselves in history. Nnamdi Kanu will not be the first. But that does not obviate the fact that he does not need the advice of experts. If he feels he does on any question of law, I think he's wise enough, smart enough to go for it.
Let's revisit the issue of IPOB. Yeah. Based on your submission about the Enugu High Court, talking about that it was unjustly, the process of prescribing IPOB was not right.
Was unconstitutional.
Was unconstitutional. Yes. So are you likely at any point in time to challenge this particular issue, or is it part of what you are going to drag into the case at any point in time?
Well, the prosecution of IPOB is before the Supreme Court right now on appeal. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is being charged based on the prosecution of IPOB. There's also a question amongst legal experts. Is it right, under jurisprudence, to subject a man to trial on a law that has not become final? What criminalized the IPOB activity and put Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention is the notion, the court order, that IPOB is a terrorist group. The court order prescribing IPOB. That court order, a lot of Nigerians don't know, is still under appeal. Section 36 sub 12 of Nigerian Constitution says no Nigerian should be put on trial except on the basis of a written law. Let us assume that the prescription of IPOB has become a written law. It hasn't become a final written law. It's still lying before the Supreme Court. These are some of the issues that I believe the executive branch should have looked at and say to themselves, well, what's the hurry? Maybe we should let this man go, because even the prescription upon which we are prosecuting him is not even final. It's not yet final. So these are the issues, the legal issues dogging his prescription. And these things are very likely to also occur as legal arguments in court.
What do you think may be the fears of the federal government if they should allow Nnamdi Kanu to go?
The fear of the Igbo man. The primordial fear of the Igbo man that led to the pogrom, that led to the widespread lie, deadly lie of Igbo coup in 1966, and then that led to the genocide that gave the cover for the 3-year genocidal war. And even after the war, that primordial fear of the Igbo man still persists. We just have to tell ourselves the truth. The truth. We should. I'm asking my fellow Nigerians who are not Igbos, what is it about the Igbo man that you fear so much? That when we are even in power, when you are even holding the levers of the presidency, you still fear the Igbo man enough, sufficiently enough to put him in chains, to try to put him in jail and lock him away and throw away the key. Do you believe that to be the solution to your fears? Or do you take the other part, the other part of brotherhood and compatriot spirit, and embrace the Igbo man with all his good, the bad, and ugly, just as a human being that he is? We possess good qualities and bad qualities, all of us. Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Nupe, whatever, white, black. So this singling out of an Igbo man in Nigeria as a separate entity to be treated in a certain discriminatory way. I've cited court rulings in that regard, including the one by the United Nations. So I'm not inventing anything. That thing has to go, or Nigeria will continue to have certain problems that it shouldn't have.
What is the current state of his health? Because we know at the point...
of course he's not feeling well.
Judiciary set up a panel, and the panel said that they gave him a clean bill of health.
Well, that one, the jury is still out on that. There is a question as to whether the Nigerian Medical Association is the right body to certify him as being fit for trial or not. It's a legal question. And I think it's going to become judicial very soon, sooner than later. There's also a question as to whether they actually examined him after 26 September, when the judge made the order. Nigerian Medical Association never examined Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to my knowledge. I was managing his health as a lawyer, writing letters, staying with him, being present when he was with doctors. After 26 September, Nigerian Medical Association never examined Mazi Nnamdi Kanu physically. They had an interaction with him sometime around 22nd or 23rd September on the invitation of the Attorney General of the Federation. That's a different ballgame altogether. Different from when the court invites you by an order to examine the patient or the defendant, and you didn't. And you relied on some previous interaction that lacked any modicum of physical medical examination. So that again, the jury is still out on that, and it's going to be attended to in good time.
If another free Nnamdi Kanu protest is called today, will you make yourself available?
I'll be the first to step forward. I lead from the front.
There are those who feel that the insurgency in the southeast was a creation or the making of Nnamdi Kanu. What's your take on that?
Well, a lot of both state and non-state actors latched on to that. Nnamdi Kanu couldn't have been in detention and begin an insurgency or insecurity. When you put a man in detention, he becomes powerless. So, but nature abhors a vacuum. I do believe, and I acknowledge the reality, that state and non-state actors stepped in and contrived this insecurity to rubbish Igbo land, to make Igbo land unsafe, to blame us for misfortunes they brought to us. Do you understand? You beat a child, you don't want him to cry. He cries, you beat him again. So, it's so wrong. But if everybody believes that Nnamdi Kanu's prolonged detention is directly related to the insecurity in the southeast, why is the government not letting him go to test, just to test the waters? Everybody is saying so. So you release him and see whether the insecurity continues. In that way, you separate the apples from the oranges.
Do you think that releasing him can guarantee peace in the southeast or end the insurgency in the southeast?
He's an upstanding citizen of the southeast. and he has legions of followers in the millions. I think his voice will count. Even my small self, and you, Victor, if you rise today in a podium in Enugu and Oka and say, my people, please stop killing one another, stop kidnapping. Those criminals amongst you, please stop. Maybe one person will listen to you. I think thousands will listen to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, just like they will listen to others. But as it is now, what voice in Igbo land do you think is stronger than he? He has a very strong voice. He has a way of, making things happen. He's a man of charisma and great influence. Like one of South leaders was saying that all South leaders need to come to the table to talk about how to advance Southeast and end insecurity. Why would that discussion exclude Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? The fish rots from the head. And if you want to kill a hydra, you chop the head off. That's what they are trying to do to us. But God forbid, it won't happen.
There are those who have also dismissed the insinuation that releasing him will guarantee peace or return peace to the Southeast.
Okay, is that the reason now to hold him forever? That shouldn't be the reason to hold him forever. What about for his own sake? For the sake of justice? He deserves justice. Just for himself. We shouldn't be using him as a bait or as a pawn in the chessboard of the insecurity in Southeast. It's not fair. Okay, we can answer the question and say, yes, the two are correlated, but it stops there. The next question is, what about the justice of the case? Prosecuting Nnamdi Kanu is unjust in the first place. Renditioning him is unjust in the first place. Addressing those things are personal to him. And they can also extrapolate to become personal to you and I. Because if we allow government to rendition someone and subject him to trial for touting self-determination, it might be Nnamdi Kanu today, tomorrow it might be Victor, myself, our lawyer, or another individual. Okay? So the justice of the case demands that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu regains his freedom without further let or hindrance.
Southeast leaders, business leaders, political leaders, do you think they are better placed to lead the change in the Southeast as against the direction or the way Nnamdi Kanu's followers are going?
Well, I think we need a holistic approach. The civil society in Southeast includes IPOB. They have followers, they are in the millions. Okay? The Chinese will tell you that Christians will talk about the kingdom of heaven and the last feast. That feast probably will be prepared by the Chinese because they cook pretty well. So even though that they are heathens and atheists, they will be there at the kingdom, cooking at the kitchen and partaking in the final feast. So IPOB numbers in the millions of members and followers and sympathizers. So for any discussion of how to move Southeast forward, I think there has to be a consideration that they be brought to the table. And how best can you bring him to the table than bringing their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, to the table?
Maybe can we look at this direction, given his strong voice? Why has he not, in alliance with or together with IPOB, called on his followers or called on the killings in the Southeast to stop publicly, given his strong voice in the Southeast?
Well, I'm surprised it's coming from you. I saw a video posted on your YouTube where he made that call from the inside of the courtroom, even twice. You may have forgotten, Victor. He did it. He said, in 2 minutes, if I come out in 2 minutes, who is there to disobey? Yeah. I call on everybody, the insecurity, the criminality, whatever. This is not what fighting for Biafra, fighting for freedom is all about. Do you recall? He said so from the courtroom. Maybe not the way you framed it, but he had taken every opportunity given to him since his detention to rail against the insecurity, to rail against criminality in Southeast, and to call for peace and end to any form of violence. I give him that credit.
As somebody from the Southeast, how do you feel on this sit at home every Monday?
The sit at home, I think, maybe has become something of a voluntary enterprise. There was some violence at some point, okay? Misguided violence. But right now, anybody that is sitting at home on Monday in the Southeast probably is doing so voluntarily out of love for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And remember, I had taken a proactive step in ending incessant sit at home. I don't know if you recall. Okay? So I had taken an active step in trying to end the sit at home, being incessant or whatever. But the Monday own seems to have persisted on its own. So, can anybody do about it?
What's the status of your case now with the Nigerian police? Have you been left off the hook?
No. We're going to court on 15 December to start trial. I can't wait to see them in court to defend myself and the others. You mean the arrest, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Nobody is discontinuing anything. So they scheduled us to come to court on 15 December. Okay? And we're going to go to court in Kuje. Maybe first of all, we'll find out what we are doing in Kuje anyway, and why we're not in Wuse, where we were arrested. There are several magistrate courts in the area of the arrest. So what the heck are we doing in Kuje? That may have to be the first.
At least from a layman's point of view, the jurisdiction was within this area, not Kuje.
You got it. You're not even a lawyer, but you figured out that something funny. That something funny has to be solved first. If we are convinced we are supposed to be in Kuje, fine, we'll be in Kuje and take the trial. If we're not convinced, by God, let it go to where it's supposed to be.
As a starting point.
Yes.
All right, let's look at the state of the nation. How will you describe the current state of the nation right now?
I'm not a politician, but I live in this country, and it was President Jonathan that brought me back to Nigeria from the United States to assist in privatization. I was a member of the legal committee of the National Council on Privatization when Jonathan was president. And dollar was selling at 1 to 150. Now dollar is selling at 1 to 1,500. Do you expect me to be happy and to tell you that the nation is doing well? No, it's not doing well. That is the truth. This is just talking about one aspect, which is monetary policy. Okay? One aspect, which is monetary policy. When I came into Nigeria during Jonathan administration, I came in with approximately $100,000 in cash. I had other assets, okay? But at least I had that cash to cushion myself. And guess how much I got out of it? As at that time in Naira. And I was happy. You do the math. That's monetary policy that is not good for any nation. I don't know whether the blame should be laid on Tinubu alone, because I think things began to unravel once Jonathan was out of power and Buhari came in. So Buhari laid the ground rules. He laid the foundation for the economic doldrums that we find ourselves in now. So I do believe that perhaps the present administration is struggling to roll back on some disadvantages that were in the system when they came in. But whether their effort is sufficient or not is left to conclusion of anybody who goes to the market to buy one or two things. One of the indicators of a strong economy is stable prices. But we don't have stable prices here. Prices are skyrocketing, and a lot of things have become too expensive that the common man cannot reach them, and there's a lot of hunger in the land. So I do believe more needs to be done by the current administration to strengthen the economic indicators towards a positive direction, so that the common man will get to benefit from the economic policies of the government beyond mere statistics.
Are you worried or have concerns about the direction of the country right now?
For those in TikTok, the voice we are hearing is the White Council, Barrister Leo Jumako, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu lead counsel. This is the voice we are hearing. It's an interview earlier today. because it's the video, but you guys cannot see the video. So for those on TikTok, this is the voice. And we will be winding down right now. They won't.
Right now?
Yes, of course I'm worried. There's less unity in the country, and it seems to be self-inflicted. I think our politicians have to be conscious, very, very conscious, of pulling all the parts of Nigeria together. Because when you engage in policy that tends to alienate one part, especially an important part, then you are putting the nation in danger of a disintegration and discontent. And people will begin to want out. People will begin to want their own nation. And then you are going to double back and begin to punish them, arrest them, prosecute them, and all that. And you think that is the solution? No, that's not the solution. The solution is good governance, justice, peace, fair play, tranquility. Treat your neighbor as you treat yourself. Hausa, treat Igbo as you treat fellow Hausa. Yoruba, treat Hausa as you treat fellow Yoruba. Minorities, treat yourselves, treat the majority as you treat your minorities. When people begin to treat one another better, then we'll have a better nation. And the goal that we pursue as citizens, as compatriots, will become very achievable. But when you don't do that, you are inviting disintegration. And don't blame anybody that agitates to have his separate state, because his reasons will be more justified than you think.
Maybe go a little bit back. You talked about President Jonathan invited you back to the country.
Yes.
What do you think about those willing him to contest for 2027? And then you have also some person saying he's not qualified to run again for president.
In Jonathan?
Yes.
Well, it is the decision to make. As to constitutional qualification you're talking about, well, this is something that the courts will have to decide. Maybe they can test that in the courts. But he never got his 8 years. I can give you my legal opinion. Jonathan ruled for about 5 or 6 years.
6.
He can be re-elected. But someone can argue that his presidency will preterm it at the, before he makes another 4 years. Do you understand? It's an argument that can be made, but he's qualified to run again.
What do you make of the future of the Southeast as we head to 2027?
Well, the Southeast will continue to struggle politically. Unfortunately, we are politically disadvantaged in this country since the end of the war. Militarily speaking, even when the military is in power, there is a political disadvantage for Southeast because we are not well represented in the military security apparatus. And then when democracy comes, there seems to be some kind of a conspiracy of sorts or a convergence, amongst other groups of Nigerians that Southeast, people should be marginalized politically. So a lot of good positions elude us, in the national affairs of the country. We don't have that predominant or dominant presence that we are supposed to have in this country, and that is one of the things that is causing convulsions in the system.
What do you make of insinuation or the narrative that the Free Nnamdi Kanu protest was probably a strategic plan to draw out P2B and frame him for being a pro-Ipob member and probably destroy his presidential ambition?
Well, the allegation that it's a strategic plan is more strategic than the strategic plan. Anybody taking it towards P2B angle is being devilishly strategic. It has nothing to do with P2B. P2B has publicly called for a halt to the prosecution of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So why do they keep looking for him? So those are the people that are being devilishly strategic. The buck stops at President Tinubu's table. If he does not free Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he can forget the votes of people of Southeast. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is well loved in the Southeast. Mr. President, if anybody is telling you differently, he's lying to you. unless there's another plan. You're not going to win Southeast without freeing Mazi Nnamdi.
Even with all these defections?
No, it won't happen. APC will lose woefully.
With all these defections?
Yes, go to the grassroots. I'm very close to the grassroots. The Igbos are waiting. They are angry. Mazi Nnamdi is their favorite son. They want him home, Mr. President. Or you can forget Southeast. You can become president again with the votes of others. But forget that of Southeast. They are not happy with you because of this Mazi Nnamdi matter. That's just the gospel truth.
I've proposed a number of states, I think 6 states coming up, and every zone is allotted 1 state again. And Southeast, they said they want to correct imbalance. The Southeast was also given 1 state, but other zones.
So, this is where I'm waiting for. The Wise Council, Pastor Ejumako, just told President Tinubu the naked truth. He said, release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, or you forget Southeast. If there's anyone telling you another different story, it's up to you. Okuria hammer. Okuria ntu. He just tell President Tinubu the gospel truth. Does not matter. Let the whole Southeast governor become APC. Go to the grassroots. And he said he's close to the grassroots. And what the White Council just said is the naked truth, 100%. If Tinubu want to have sympathy, want to see something in favor of him from Southeast, he should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He should release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu with immediate effect. Release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. This is fact. So we thank the Wise Council, Pastor Ejumako, and we wish you quick recovery in coming days, so that you can take up your armor and your weapon, because there is battle ahead, and Chukwukika will lead you and other lawyers and other people ahead of the battle. So onye ọbụla Chukwukika abịama na-lead, mmadụ apụrụ imeli ya, mmeli ya bụ nke ya. Mmeli ga na-abụ nke onye nke the person. So the Wise Council of Pastor Ejumako, I said, Chukwukika will lead you the battles ahead. Like I said before, a couple of years ago, you will bring Mazi Nnamdi out. You will bring Mazi Nnamdi out. Those that are condemning you, Alpha, where are they? Where is Chinasa Nwankita? Where is Isaiah Ubokbo? Where is Austin Agbanyi? All those men, they are nowhere to be found today. Because lies don't last test of time. You have showed the world your quality. You have showed the world that you stand by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You have showed the world that you are fighting with your whole heart for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. All those people that are blackmailing you, where are they today? Oh, where is the most trusted lawyer? Kebono. Where is the most trusted lawyer? Kebono, Ifeanyi Ejiofor. Kebono. Who knows him before? Nobody knows Ifeanyi Ejiofor, if not Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu case made that man who he is today. Is it a crime for someone to ask you, okay, step down from my case? Where is he, the most trusted? No, where is he, the most trusted? Pastor Ejumako Udodelegu, Chukwukika Bagi Ume, and the rest of the MK legal team. We wish you quick recovery. And we're also expecting you to come to address us. But we could have make it tomorrow because your state of health is not that good. So you need to recover your voice. So they won't Biafrans. Here we call it a day. Tomorrow is another day. 5 p.m. Biafra time. Don't forget this. This is our program tomorrow. Joe Vicar. He already know that this program is coming tomorrow. He's afraid to come up because nobody can withstand my debates because I will bring the facts. So tomorrow we are going to show Joe Vicar the stuff we are made of. He called himself a reverend na-asị asị. A reverend father na-asị asị, a reverend ụkọchukwu na-asị asị. Ewepụ na onye ebe a. So as we thank you for coming in, and for those who did not join us earlier, please endeavor to share the program on YouTube, on Facebook, on TikTok. TikTok, I'm sorry that you guys are not seeing the videos because TikTok is something else. Woman I found TikTok you know, onye bata ọ na-akụ am no camera, mama onye na-ekwu no tomorrow change another profile. All of them at TikTok nwere more than 1,000 fake profile. That is why even in my TikTok, it's my complete standard. When you come in my box, your camera is not open. No way. You go. No, just even your TikTok today, no but in there one. Also ka ọ dịrị anyị na mma. Onyendu Mazi na Kanu, Onyendu anyị apụta. Ndị enu ndị a na-echebi ya. Ọnwụọ mmiri ya bụrụ ya ọgwụgwọ ọya. Olie na ọya bụrụ ya ọgwụgwọ ọya. Ndụ nka. Asị m onye foto ka afụ echi. Ndewonu ụmụ Chineke.
Oh nana, Mr. Bobsy, I won't speak my mind. Gucci Beats. Nigeria don't enter one chance, I swear. Oh, now go with the go so. Yes, men they kill us every day, but them busy they campaign again. After they failed all the promises they made, oh, then they praise themselves. Why the masses were supposed to give them the praises we they here they run to? Move it up. I blame it on the religious leaders. I blame it on the traditional rulers. People were supposed to fight for the people, they don't compromise. Shame on the rebellious brothers. People will cry with us during answers. Today them don't join those oppressors, they eat jello. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause na time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come up. It is very close and they feel am. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. They no even care, they no even send. Say the people they die of hunger. Hungry dog is an angry dog. One day you go bite the owner. Idle man is the devil workshop. Many youths for Nigeria no good job. And the country the youths got no future. The country is gone, that's on period. Move it up. I blame it on the judiciary leaders. I blame it on the electoral officials. People were supposed to save the nation, but they collected bribe. Shame on the armed forces. People were supposed to protect the masses. But now them they shoot us anytime they hear our voice. Something on the smell of. Very soon now we go perceive them. We have up where this government they cause na time bomb. It go soon explode. Revolution they come up. It is very close and they feel am. When the power of the people we triumph, the power of the people in power. Mr. Bobsy, I don't speak my mind. Lord, come save my people.